Well, Congressman, thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. What can you tell us about this letter that you sent to Attorney General Eric Holder?
Well, I sent a letter in my capacity as a member of the Oversight Committee and as a former United States attorney, so one who had served within the Justice Department. And I think it expresses a sentiment that I see shared by numerous of the members of the committee, both Republican and Democrat, which is first a genuine concern about the tactics which would have led to the walking of the guns to the cartels in Mexico, and then second, a genuine concern about getting to the bottom of who really knew about it, in fact, who's responsible for the decision-making and how far up the chain did it go. Those questions, I think, remain unanswered, and one person who I believe could shed the most amount of light on it is the Attorney General, and so respectfully, we asked him to come. I asked him to agree to come before the committee so that we could work to try to get to the bottom of it so we wouldn't see a repeat of something like this again.
You also said in your letter that you agreed with the committee's ranking member, Representative Elijah Cummings, who said over the weekend that Democrats, quote, want a responsible and balanced investigation because we are the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. You cannot reform anything unless you have all the information. You look at the entire picture, and that simply has not happened yet. Do you believe that Representative Cummings will join you in calling for Attorney General Eric Holder to appear before the committee?
Well, I'm not so sure that they will agree. My own guess, and I'm just telling you a hunch, is you're going to see probably some effort on the part of this to steer it towards the Senate side, where if there's going to be an appearance, it would be before some other kind of a committee. I'm just concerned about that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, we are the Oversight Committee, and we've got the standing. I don't question the seriousness of my colleagues, including Mr. Cummings, about a genuine concern about the actual issue. So there is a little bit of play back and forth on this, but in the end, and that was in the tenor of my letter. I don't want this to be political.
Mm-hmm.
Neither side should engage in politics about this very important question, and even notwithstanding that the Senate has now outlawed the ability for, at least they passed a law to make this kind of an action illegal on the part of the Department of Justice.
Right.
Again, the fact is, it's as much not just what happened here, but where is the breakdown in oversight and decision making that this kind of a thing could have happened if it was not brought to the top of the Justice Department? Why not? Common sense would have told you that this is the kind of a break from normal operations that somebody, unless they have blessings from the very top, could really be putting themselves into some real difficulty. And I just, common sense judgment suggests that unless, people were instructed and informed from the highest levels, they wouldn't have been comfortable breaking so completely from what had been ATF policy prior to that.
Absolutely, and it's amazing to me. We heard the president. We didn't hear. Jake Tapper reported, but I guess it didn't make the videotape on ABC. But he did ask President Obama about Fast and Furious yesterday, and the president said that we're going to get to the bottom of this, and the people who authorized this will be dealt with. I'm amazed, Congressman. I mean, we've been talking about this since February of this year. It's now, getting towards late October, and the Justice Department, which has had the Office of Inspector General conducting its own internal investigation, they've not been able to come up with any answers in 8 months?
Well, they haven't. And I will say this, and again, as a former prosecutor, I do not know all of the facts with respect to the ongoing investigations. There's a delicate piece in which, and this is the difficulty of oversight, you don't want to step into ongoing investigations, so I give a little space for that. But there's a lot of activity here that doesn't require, if you're getting real collaboration and honest communication, it may not necessarily require that there be incursions onto, the investigative material. The question isn't what happened and who's being investigated. The question was, who authorized it and what level did it go to with respect to the decision making. And certainly the documents that I've been able to be aware of and to see confirm that there's been knowledge and discussion of this, beyond the operational level and into the inner, sort of the inner bowels of the highest levels of the Justice Department. So they're there. It's just how much higher did it go? And you've got the Attorney General saying, he didn't know about it until April. You've got the July memos that suggest that a lot of people were talking about it before then. And frankly, it's the kind of an issue where you would say, well, if he didn't know about it, why not?
Well, absolutely. And I do hope that we get some answers. I mean, how would you characterize the level of cooperation or not from the Justice Department in terms of providing the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee with the documents that it's requested?
Well, my sense is that there's a lot more materials out there. There's probably a capacity for them to, justifiably claim that certain information can't be shared because of its investigative nature. And, as Chairman Issa showed, the documents are remarkably redacted. My own gut tells me there's a lot more there. But again, I think we've gotten awfully close to asking, the real questions based on just the limited information. And as things continue to sort of drip out, more and more comes into. I shouldn't say it gets clear. Actually, the questions get. The situation gets more ambiguous.
Absolutely. I mean, it seems to me like the more you all have investigated, the more questions have come up. I mean, now we've talked on this program before about the grenade walking aspect of this. This fellow Jean-Baptiste Kingery that was arrested and was allowed to let go and caught in Mexico earlier this summer with 500 homemade grenades. There have been questions raised about other Fast and Furious-style operations outside of the Phoenix field office, perhaps even in Texas. I know that Senator Cornyn has asked about that. I mean, it really seems like the deeper you start digging here, the bigger this story gets.
Well, and one thing that I'm looking at is that it's clear, and the question of activity on the border and the question of the use of weapons by the drug cartels, this isn't an issue that just arose from the sense of coming to the attention of people at the top. This didn't sneak up on people at the top. And there's been an awful lot of public discussion about issues on the border in the Justice Department and otherwise. And so, it would be counterintuitive to think that this isn't something that wasn't on the top of awareness of people at the highest levels, and if it wasn't being discussed and the tactics that were being employed weren't being supervised and questioned, then that even raises more questions about what's going on.
Absolutely right. Congressman, again, I really appreciate you coming on the program, sir. Great talking to you, and hope that we can do this again.
I'm very appreciative of the time and attention you're paying to it, and let's hope we keep digging and get some answers.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you.